Hey y'all, Dennis here, Muddy Waters Search and Recovery.
Chrissy.
And we just got done watching the press release with the coroner on the Gabby Petito case, and they announced that it is death by strangulation, and due to state statute, he cannot elaborate if it is manual strangulation or if an object was used. But we did find out that she had been dead for 3 to 4 weeks before the body was found. And due to state statute, no other info is really allowed to be released other than cause of death in the timeline.
But we did find out something better, though. She was not pregnant, in case you all were wondering. That was a question of mine, yours too, at one point. So,
yeah, we've had several viewers speculating that. And
Right.
And it took them a month to do the autopsy to confirm all of this. They were very detailed. They brought in specialists. They done toxicology, several scans, etc., to make sure everything was done right and very detailed. They did confirm that DNA samples were taken by law enforcement. They could not release any findings on those, but they did say they did take DNA samples. And many questions coming into the coroner was on condition of the body. And he would say the body was outside in the elements for 3 to 4 weeks. So you've got weather, you've got animals. So he didn't want to get too detailed with that, obviously.
Right.
But they covered all bases.
Yeah, I'm still trying. We've got the TV on, and I'm still trying to catch bits and pieces of it here from Fox News.
And they covered all the bases in this to ensure it was done right. There will not be an exact date of death on the death certificate. Their state statute allows approximate, and there is a 3 to 4 week window or time frame there on time of death. And then again, they cannot clarify if it was manual strangulation or if an object was used.
I mean, this is what we needed to hear, though, because we've been patiently waiting. I know a lot of people were wondering if she was pregnant, and thank God she wasn't. But I wasn't expecting strangulation either. You know, I thought it was a bad fight, and one thing led to another, and that was all she wrote. But I wasn't expecting strangulation. What were you? I mean,
I didn't expect that. I knew it was possible. Some other medical examiners not related to the case had believed that it was going to be found asphyxiation. So I knew that was a possibility.
Right.
But I also want to say another medical examiner not linked to this case, he found it somewhat strange that they would release that it was a homicide first and then go in to look at the details. Typically, they will release the details like they did today and then work to determine homicide. And in that medical examiner's opinion, there was glaring evidence right off the bat of homicide, and strangulation there could have easily been signs.
Didn't the coroner just say something like in the state of Wyoming they have 4 causes of death?
Yes.
And what was it? Do you remember?
It was homicide, suicide,
natural,
and
then
accident.
And I mean, wow. I mean, I figured there'd be a lot more, but I don't know.
And with that, he explained how there is so many variables to each of those that would determine what it may be. But this has been officially called a homicide, and she was killed by strangulation.
And if you were following it at all, in case you're wondering, Gabby her autopsy was done at their facility in Wyoming in Teton County, correct?
Yes.
And she's currently there at their mortuary in that area, and they're dealing with the family as we speak. So hopefully things can move on with her and get her laid to rest.
Yeah, at this point, as you're saying,
Yeah.
the mortuary working with the family is to
Right.
get her back to, I believe, New York
Yes,
with her
or-
family.
Yes. But right now, I mean, we've been waiting to hear this, and yeah.
And now I'm going to jump on the theory ship for a minute. In your opinion, does this absolutely point to Brian?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you followed Gabby and Brian's case, you know that there was quite a bit of domestic problems between them, arguing, fighting, and sometimes it got physical. I mean, you see, like the video that's showing on TV right now, there's a police officer interviewing her about some kind of altercation. The poor girl, I mean, but the thing is, though, and I've said this before, neither one of them are angels, though. I mean, they were both at each other all the time. And I think what happened, like I said, Brian finally had enough, and this is all he could take, and one thing led to another, and his anger got a hold of him, and I think, honestly, he killed Gabby.
It's more important now than ever that Brian is found. Any information you have on his whereabouts, no matter how irrelevant it may seem, get that to law enforcement immediately. This guy needs to be found.
Right.
Even though early releases from law enforcement state that Brian was not related to some of the other murder cases in that area, there's still a lot of similarities there to where
Right.
I still think there is a possibility of that. So this guy needs to be found. And I don't want to say he's guilty, but circumstantially, he's guilty.
Yeah, all the evidence points to Brian. I mean, think about it. If it was an accident, why would you run? If it's an accident, you can tell them that, and the evidence should show it was an accident. There's nothing, you're not in trouble. But if you ran after this, obviously you did something wrong. That's just that's how it works.
And
So
I mentioned last night on a quick release that Dog the Bounty Hunter, we all know, has been working. He sidelined due to an injury he got on a search for Brian. But we all need to be narrowing down where Brian is, get Brian found. If he is for sure guilty, Gabby deserves justice. And like I said last night, there's the argument that, there is no justice because Gabby's not going to be brought back. Her family's pain is not going to go away. But if he's guilty, he needs to pay for what he did in a court of law.
And I mean, he obviously knows if he's done something wrong, that's why he's on the run. So, like Denny has told you guys, whatever information you have, please speak up and tell your local agencies. I'm sure you can call your Bureau of Investigation in your state or city or whatever. Let them know. Brian has to be caught. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He has to be.
And you also got the option, we put our contact information down here. If you're not comfortable reaching out to law enforcement, get that to us, get that to another search team. Any of us will get that information to where it needs to go.
And you'll still remain anonymous. We're not going to throw your name out everywhere. I mean...
Well, except with law enforcement, because a lot of times they will have to have the name of the source. So we cannot guarantee anonymous with law enforcement, but we will keep you anonymous with the public.
Absolutely. So yeah, like I said, if you're just now coming onto this, the coroner from Teton County just released cause of death for Gabby Petito was strangulation. So we're just going to continue watching it on Fox News here and see if anything new comes up.
We will keep you guys updated. If you guys got any information you'd like to share with us, please do. You could email me. My email is in the contact information. Call me, text me, or comment on here, and we will get it either way. So with that, till next time, let's do what we can to find Brian, and you guys stay safe.